All right, let's get right into it. Picture this. You wake up, you check the markets, and you see that some of the biggest, most successful software companies out there, think Figma, HubSpot, even Duolingo, have lost a massive chunk of their value, like overnight. Well, this isn't some crazy hypothetical. It's been happening. And the number one suspect everyone's pointing to? You guessed it, artificial intelligence. But what if that's not the full story?
We are talking about an absolutely staggering number, $300 billion. That's how much value has basically vanished from the software as a service industry, SaaS. This isn't just a minor dip in the market, it's a genuine shockwave, and it has Wall Street completely spooked.
So, this is the billion-dollar question, right? Is AI actually killing the software industry? The headlines sure make it seem that way. They're all screaming that traditional software is about to go the way of the dodo. But is that what's really happening here? Are we watching a full-on extinction event? Well, as usual, the headlines are missing the point. AI isn't some asteroid hurtling towards Earth to wipe out the dinosaurs of software. No, it's more like it's rewriting the industry's DNA from the inside out. And to really get what that means, we first have to understand what made SaaS so incredibly valuable in the first place. For years, SaaS was the absolute darling of Wall Street. It had this business model that seemed completely bulletproof, and investors just could not get enough of it. I mean, just look at the difference here. A normal traditional company might get valued at, say, 8 to 12 times what it earns. But SaaS companies, they were getting these wild, astronomical valuations. We're talking 50, 100, sometimes even 200 times their earnings. And there was a very, very specific reason for that madness. And that reason can be summed up in 3 letters. ARR, annual recurring revenue. See, unlike a business that sells one-off products, SaaS offered this magical thing, a predictable, stable, and growing income stream month after month. For investors, that's the holy grail. It meant they could forecast growth with incredible accuracy, which made it feel like the safest bet in the world. And the whole thing was built on this beautifully simple idea. You charge per person per month. More human employees using your software meant you sold more licenses, which meant more of that sweet, predictable revenue. It was a golden formula. But a brand new variable just got tossed into that equation. And this is where our whole story takes a sharp turn. Because AI didn't show up to replace all these software applications, it showed up to build a brand new layer right on top of them. And that changed everything. And this happened incredibly fast. First, we got new protocols that basically acted like universal translators, letting AI talk directly to any app. Then, these AIs learned to talk to each other so they could team up on complex tasks. And finally, they started developing what we call AI skills, becoming better at using these apps than most humans could ever hope to be. Think of it as a new conductor for the orchestra, not a replacement for the instruments. You know how it's always been, right? You have to use a new piece of software, so you have to learn the interface, click through endless menus, remember all the weird workflows. It takes time, it takes training. It's kind of a pain. Okay, now compare that to the new world. You just say what you want in plain English. Something like, hey, pull the sales report for last quarter, make a chart, and email it to the marketing team. And an AI agent just does it. It does all the clicking, all the navigating, all the work for you instantly.
It's really like having a super smart assistant who's already an expert at every single piece of software your company uses. It doesn't replace Salesforce or Slack. It just becomes the ultimate power user for all of them. It hides all the complexity from you, the human. And that has a massive, massive consequence.
Because this brand new AI layer takes a direct shot at the one thing holding up the entire SaaS industry, its pricing model. This is the thing that is truly terrifying investors. This one change completely flips the script. We are moving away from that old, predictable, per-seat price that was tied to how many humans you had, and we're moving to a much more volatile, usage-based price that's tied to how many tasks an AI performs. And here is the absolute heart of the problem for these companies. A single AI agent with a single software license can now do the work of an entire team of people. A company that used to pay for, say, 50 licenses might now only need 5. That beautiful, predictable math that justified those sky-high stock prices, it's completely broken. This is leading to something that economists call commoditization. All of a sudden, a company's perfectly designed, beautiful user interface just doesn't matter as much. Why? Because the AI agent couldn't care less about pretty buttons. It just wants the raw function underneath. The value is shifting away from the shiny interface and towards the back-end plumbing. And you can see the market is already reacting. These projections from Goldman Sachs lay it out pretty clearly. All the investment, all the capital is flowing away from traditional SaaS and pouring into the companies building these new AI agents. Investors are betting on the conductor, not just the instruments. But wait, the story's not over. The big established software giants, they are not just sitting around watching their empires crumble. Oh no, they're fighting back, and it's kicking off a brand new, fascinating race. Just about every major SaaS company you can think of is now scrambling to build its own AI assistant. Salesforce is launching Agentforce. ServiceNow has Now Assist. They're all building their own specialized AI agents that know their own products better than anyone. And the strategy here is actually really smart. Their thinking is if they can offer you a better, more integrated AI assistant than a general purpose one, they can turn this massive threat into a powerful new feature. The goal is to keep you locked right inside their ecosystem. So where does all of this leave us? Well, this whole massive shakeup is basically creating a few very different potential futures for the entire software world. You can kind of see it playing out in one of three ways. First, maybe the big established companies win by just building the best AI. Or, scenario two, the big general AI platforms like an OpenAI or Google become the new operating system and all the old SaaS apps just become cheap, interchangeable parts. Or, the most likely outcome, a hybrid, where some software becomes a commodity but other highly specialized tools still hold their value. So, when you boil it all down, here's the key takeaway. Software isn't dying. It's evolving. The very idea of what an application is changing right before our eyes. They're becoming more like services that just plug into this bigger, smarter AI-run ecosystem. And that leaves us with one last huge question. When all this dust settles, is the software we use every day going to become a cheap commodity like electricity or water? Or is this disruption about to give birth to a whole new generation of tech giants who figure out how to master this new world of AI orchestration? The next couple of years are going to be wild.